There were three women who were in a boat on a lake fishing one day together. One of them said, "We never get to let our hair down. Let's each tell the area that we struggle in the most, our greatest sin, so we can pray for each other." The first woman said, "I hate to admit this, but I have a problem with gambling. I sneak out lots of nights and go gamble." The second woman said, "I am ashamed to admit this, but I have problem cheating. I hardly ever pay my taxes." The third woman sat there silently. They waited and waited. She would not budge. They said, "We are not getting off this boat until you tell us your greatest sin." She said, "All right, my greatest sin is gossiping, and I can't wait to get off this boat." Dear friends in Jesus Christ, in the gospel, Jesus turns to his disciples and says to them, "You are the salt of the earth." This group of disciples were the nucleus of what was to become the church. We are the church today, and Jesus, addressing us in today's gospel, says to us, "You are the salt of the earth." Jesus does not say, "You are to become the salt of the earth," but "You are the salt of the earth." In a sense, we are being reminded of our identity, the identity we share as people who have been baptized into Christ, who are members of Christ's body. It is as if Jesus is saying to us, "Remember who you are. Do not sell yourselves short. Take yourselves seriously." If that is our identity we share, our calling is to live out that identity. Like salt, we are to work to preserve what is best in each other and in our world. Insofar as we bring out the best in others and nurture all that is in good in our midst, we are indeed salt of the earth. The work of preserving and nurturing what is good among us is important work. Matthew, later on his gospel, says of Jesus that he did not break the crushed reed nor quench the smoldering wick. He was careful, in other words, to nurture and preserve whatever was worthwhile in others, whatever was of God, even it was barely present. We appreciate people who have that ability to recognize something worthwhile, even it seems delicate and vulnerable, who are able to preserve and nurture it. We need such a people in our midst if the small seeds that promise so much are to become all the capable are becoming. Such people encourage, and bring out the best in others. In the Acts of the Apostle, a man called Barnabas was given the nickname Son of Encouragement. He was the salt of the earth type. When Paul was very new to the church and other believers still saw him as the persecutor. Barnabas recognized in the good in him. He saw how God was working in Paul's life and he encouraged him. We may also have met people who belong to other end of the spectrum, who have a tendency to crush the bruised reed, who seems prone to undermining the good work that is going on within people and between them. We are all capable both of nurturing the good in others and of undermining what is worthwhile there. We can be Barnabas' figure who strengthen the best instincts in others by encouraging the presence. Yet, we are also aware that we can undermine some good initiative, some worthwhile movement of the Spirit by something we say or do. In the image of today's gospel reading, this is the salt that becomes tasteless, that ceases to be what is in reality. The other image that Jesus uses in the gospel for his disciple is light of the world. In John's gospel, Jesus says of himself, I am the light of the world. It is striking that a title that is given to Jesus in one gospel is given to us, his disciples, in another gospel. Again, Jesus is reminding us of our identity as those who have been baptized into him and who have been enlightened by his presence in word and sacrament. If salt is associated with preserving, light is associated with showing the way. Jesus came as light to show us the way and to walk that way for us and with us. It is the way that was spelled out in the Beatitudes in last Sunday Gospel. In today's Gospel, we are addressed as the light because we are called to show each other the way of Christ. Our relationship with the Lord is never a purely private relationship. We have a responsibility to each other to publicly to live that relationship to the full so we can inspire, guide, and lead each other. It is only from each other that we can learn what it means to walk in the way of Christ.